Hello, thank you for tuning in to the Katie Sassine Show. As always, I'm your host, Katie Sassine, addressing the indoctrination of the nation, discussing how the mass media leads the narrative and the sheep that follow, and the lions that choose to think about what's actually going on. Or I should say the researchers, the political scientists. I didn't have that one planned out. Anyway, I do have this planned out. Today we're talking about rice. We are talking about rice. Brown rice, white rice, long grain rice, short grain rice, sticky, wild rice. No, none of those rices we will be discussing today. Today we will be talking about Susan rice. So we won't be discussing the most popular grain in the world eaten by majority of people. We will be talking about Susan rice and how loose lips sink ships. Now, who is Susan Rice? She's the former National Security Advisor, NSA, for President Barack Obama. And currently, she is the United States Ambassador for the United Nations, which probably suits her well because she is on the liberal side of the spectrum. And as we know, the United Nations is the biggest liberal institution known to man. So this role probably is enjoyable for her, but she's not having too many enjoyable interviews. Let's check out an interview she had with Andrea Mitchell of MSNBC that was posted Tuesday, April 4th.
An individual could be provided to me. That is what I and Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, CIA Director, DNI would do when we receive that information. We only do it to protect the American people, to do our jobs in the national security realm. That's the only reason.
Within that process and within the context of the Trump campaign, the Trump transition, did you seek the names of people involved in, to unmask the names of people involved in the Trump transition, the Trump campaign, people surrounding the president-elect? Let me be clear. In order to spy on them, in order to expose them?
Absolutely not for any political purposes, to spy, expose, anything. But
did you leak the name of Mike Flynn?
I leaked nothing to nobody, and never have and never would. But let me explain this. First of all, Andrea, to talk about the contents of a classified report, to talk about the...
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Double negative, nothing, nobody, slang, in a formal situation, strange. All those words and thoughts might be coming up to your head right now after watching that video. When asked, did you leak the name Mike Flynn by Miss Mitchell of MSNBC, by reporter Mitchell? Rice laughed. She laughed. She said, ha, and casually said, I leaked nothing to nobody. What a big fat liar. Who says that in an official interview? Who does that? A double negative. She says nothing. She says, I leak nothing to nobody. And she laughs. When someone laughs, when you're asking them a serious question, that is one of the biggest hints that they're lying to you. And I'm not in the CIA, but I watched TED Talks about people in the CIA and how they identify liars. And I enjoy researching that kind of stuff. And you'll see one of the key traits of someone that is lying. And I'm laughing. I'm sorry. I'm laughing at her. Unless there's something humorous that we're talking about, which is just funny to me. If someone lies when you ask them a question, a serious question, they're probably lying. Now, she might be trying to play it off that she's being casual and she's very relaxed. But first of all, she used a double negative. She laughed and then she said, I leak nothing to nobody, which means that she actually did tell somebody, literally. So if I'm supposed to take her grammar literally, then she admitted that she did leak information. So what am I supposed to think here? What are we supposed to think as the American people? Well, I guess we're just supposed to be confused and think that she's probably lying, because I'm guessing that's what most people are thinking after seeing this interview, especially. You know, it's a double negative to get around technically lying, or it's incorrect grammar. So her saying, I leak nothing to nobody, it's one of two options here. she used a double negative on purpose to get around technically lying, or it was just so happened that she used incorrect grammar. But either way, both are unacceptable for this person in this position. Susan Rice using incorrect grammar on a public official interview, that's unacceptable. Shouldn't she be more prepared than that? And what's definitely unacceptable is for her to leak classified information. Rice claims that she does not even know the allegations. In this particular interview, she claims to not even know the allegations of her. She claims to not know the subject matter or the time frame of the allegations about her that merited this interview. It's just so ridiculous what she says in this interview that it's truly, she's unbelievable, but everything she says is just, it's really unbelievable in the sense that it's like, you know, wow, this person really believes they're above the law. And what it reminds me of is, you know, Benghazi, of course, which we'll talk about that because Susan Rice was also involved in presenting lies on Benghazi, which we all know. So she has historically been caught lying in a very serious and crucial case that led to a bloody and horrific night for Chris Stevens, former official of the United States of America. And that was a devastating case. And now here she is, probably lying again. So accusations that she circulated a spreadsheet. The accusation is that she circulated a spreadsheet with all of the names of people involved in the Trump campaign in order to spy on them, of course. Now, Rice makes sure she states that exposing or leaking information is wrong in this interview. She says that she leaked nothing to nobody, which is really saying that she did leak something to someone. And then she proceeds to reiterate a couple times that she cannot believe that, you know, anyone would think to expose information. She makes it clear to state that leaking information is wrong. She says, you know, she just repeats it. And I can't believe, personally, I can't believe that her statements based on her attitude in the interview. You know, a lot of times it's about the way someone says something and not just what they say. And sometimes you get this feeling, and sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes our gut feelings can be wrong. And it's not always the way someone says something. Sometimes people aren't good at communicating. But Susan Rice is a United States official. She's a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. This is not a woman that's incompetent at communication. Not incompetent. So this is a very competent woman. As far as communication goes, her job is communicating. That is a core, essential, fundamental value. To get her position, you need to be a good communicator. Now, based on the way she said she knows nothing about nobody and she lied, I feel like I know that she's lying. And I cannot personally believe her statements based on her attitude. She acts too conspicuous. Just too conspicuous in this one little interview alone. Now, I know that people around me say that she's a liar. When I ask someone who I know who follows politics, I've asked them about how they feel about this case, very politically involved people in my circle of friends, in my circle of family, and I hear the same thing. This lady is full of it. They all say that Rice is full of it. And if you're out there and you agree, well, guess what? I know a whole slew of people that agree with you as well. So you are in good company. And we also have footage of Rice on an interview with Candy Crowley of CNN. So let's go ahead and check that out before we go to the next part of the show.
What has happened in the last several days. There was a hateful video that was disseminated on the internet It had nothing to do with the United States government, and it's one that we find disgusting and reprehensible. It's been offensive to many, many people around the world. That sparked violence in various parts of the world, including violence directed against Western facilities, including our embassies and consulates. That violence is absolutely unacceptable. It's not a response that one can ever condone when it comes to such a video. And we've been working very closely and indeed effectively with the governments in the region and around the world to secure our personnel, secure our embassy, condemn the violent response to this video. And frankly, we've seen these sorts of incidents in the past. We've seen violent responses to satanic verses. We've seen violent responses to the cartoons depicting the Prophet Muhammad in an evil way. So this is something we've seen in the past, and we expect that it's possible that these kinds of things could percolate into the future. What we're focused on is securing our personnel, securing our facilities.
Do you at this moment feel that U.S. embassies abroad are secure?
We're doing our utmost to secure our facilities and our personnel in various...
So there's Susan Rice's current U.S. ambassador to the United Nations blaming a YouTube video made by a kid blasted on YouTube for the terrorism and the death of Christopher Stevens, among 3 other U.S. national officials. So, as if a video on YouTube posted by a kid could ignite all those terrorist uprisings that actually did lead to Benghazi, as if that could ever happen. And there she is blatantly lying about the truth. So, meanwhile, there's horrific bombings going on in Syria. There's horrific violations of chemical weaponry restrictions. And while this is all occurring, Susan Rice is again lying to the people of the United States of America. Anyway, tomorrow we'll be back to discuss more on this video. Or after this break, we'll be right back to discuss more on this video. And we may be getting into a new topic. There's also been no action on social media by Susan Rice in a long time. So let's talk about that when we get back from the break.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, Ellijay, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
Days Chevrolet in Jasper. We make everything better. And no matter what vehicle you drive, our new state-of-the-art service center can keep you running like new with factory-trained technicians, genuine parts, and value pricing. Even convenient Saturday service hours and online appointments. So if you want to extend the life of your vehicle, let the Days service experts help. Your better day is just ahead at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where we service whatever you drive.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
El Rey and Ellijay.
El Rey Mexican Restaurant.
Family owned and operated and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings.
Great prices.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey in Elgin.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Hello, welcome back to the Katie Sassine Show, addressing the indoctrination of the nation. As always, I'm your host, Katie Sassine. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at KatieFYNTV and email me where it says below at katie@fetchernews.com. Remember to go to fetchernews.com to buy beautiful mugs and merchandise and t-shirts in support of our network, supporting real news right now, local, state, national, and international. So, we left off talking about rice. No, not brown rice. No, not white rice. No, not yellow rice, but Susan rice. And analyzing rice lies. So, we left off showing an interview with Candy Crowley of CNN, where Rice states that a hateful video was to blame for Benghazi. Rice said that about Benghazi that the hateful video was disseminated on the internet that had nothing to do with the United States government and that sparked violence around the world, which was, of course, the attack on the American embassy at Benghazi and anti-American protests. So there had been anti-American protests already going on in the area before this video had been disseminated, and Chief Reporter Crowley of CNN acknowledges that in the interview. And Crowley asked, does the administration expect to see these type of protests, anti-American protests, in the future? These were anti-American protests, bear in mind, that were already going on before the video disseminated on YouTube, according to Rice. And Rice responded to the question, does the administration expect to see these protests in the future, by stating there was a hateful video that was disseminated on the internet that had nothing to do with the United States government. I plead the fifth. That's how Susan Rice responded to that interview question. First of all, senior reporter Candy Crowley said absolutely nothing about government involvement. And she made it a point. And she said nothing about the video. She said nothing about the video either. But then Susan Rice made it a point to put her hands up and say, there was a hateful video. The government had nothing to do with it. Wow. This has to be the worst liar ever known to man. And just like the picture says, if Rice had nothing to do with Benghazi, why was she put out there to explain it? So there you have it. I mean, this stuff you cannot make up. This is crazy. You know, and this person is a United States ambassador to the United Nations. She's working with the biggest liberal institution known to man. And she's lying to us. She's openly lying to us and getting away with it. It happened in 2012. And the lives that were lost and the actions that could have been taken by the government to prevent those attacks at Benghazi. Bear in mind, we are only reflecting on this interview to affirm that she's probably lying about leaking nothing to nobody, which means she's probably has leaked some information. So remember, bear in mind, we're going over this Benghazi stuff, this Benghazi interview with Candy Crowley, very popular reporter, because we know that she has a history of defending stories that are false. So anyway, why would she say that the video had nothing to do with the United States government? Why would she even say that? She completely redirected the question that Candy Crowley asked her. She blamed the video multiple times throughout the video, throughout the interview. And just to make it extra clear that it was this video, it was this kid who released this video mocking Muslims. It's all his fault. So, the U.S. government condemns the violent response to the video, she says, of course. And she says that we've seen violent response to satanic verses and evil depictions of the prophet Muhammad. She's obviously saying this, attempting to justify that the video was to blame for Benghazi. So, something interesting to note, remember Benghazi was back in 2012, now we're in 2017, flash forward 5 years to her lies now about leaking the name of Mike Flynn in order to spy on, and other names involved in the Trump campaign, in order to spy on them. So there's been no tweets by Rice since the inauguration of Donald Trump. So the last tweet is this tweet right up here that we see. And only in her personal capacity, she says. She says, it's been an honor and a lifetime serving the American people and POTUS and USUN and NSC 44. She says, I will now be tweeting in my personal capacity, aka specifying she will not tweet furthermore on politics. And it is as if she wants to also spontaneously remove herself from politics. She wants to remove herself from having to address the public directly on Twitter. She did this when Trump came into office. Now, why would she do this? Well, she knew that she was involved in the leaking of names of people on the Trump team for the Trump campaign. So she knew this was all going to come out. And that's why she got off Twitter. Because why does Trump use Twitter? Why does the Pope use Twitter? Why does Prime Minister Netanyahu of Israel use Twitter? Well, they use it to directly communicate with the public so that the media cannot communicate for the president, so that the president can say what he wants to say, and the media can dissect it however they want, like I do on my show. But you know what? At least he's able to say what he wants to say as an individual. Because at the end of the day, the president is not his administration. The president is not the United States. The president is not you and I. The president is merely Donald Trump. So for her to deny her right to express herself directly to the American people when she knows a case like this should be coming up tells me that she knows that this is going to be a mess and that she wants to do everything she can in her power to avoid the drama that she has been a part of. And she wants to avoid the humiliation of having to hold herself accountable on her own personal Twitter account. So, undeniable, 99.9%, this person is lying to us, the American people, yet again. yet again. For who? For former sitting President Barack Obama, that has established a shadow government with the OFA organizing for action under his wife's name and another person's name in order to impede Trump from changing the America back to the way that it was and for making America great again. So, of course, she's on that team. She's on that side of the fence. It makes sense why she refuses to tweet, since basically the day of Trump's inauguration, 3 days before that tweet was posted. It was posted on January 16th. He was inaugurated, of course, on January 20th. And it's interesting that she tweets to @POTUS. That's President of the United States. And she also tweets to United States Mission of the United Nations. That's USUN. So she tweeted it out to USUN so that they knew. She tweeted it out to NSC 44. And NSC 44 is the National Security Council, Obama administration archive page. But she has not tweeted one more post to date besides that tweet that we showed earlier. So now, what's going on? Well, the House Intelligence Community wants Susan Rice to testify on these allegations of Russian election interference that she is evidently involved with by circulating a spreadsheet with the names of people on Trump's campaign list, on Trump's campaign team, which now includes evidence that Obama officials may have improperly used intelligence gathered on President Trump's transition team. And that's from Real Clear Politics, reported by writer David Harsanyi. So very interesting stuff going on. We are simultaneously trying to mitigate the issues in Syria while we are trying to mitigate the nuclear war program in North Korea. And I'm saying we, those in support of what President Donald Trump is doing, that's, Donald Trump, the royal we. So President Donald Trump is working toward mitigating issues in Syria. He's working toward mitigating issues in North Korea that could lead to a dangerous partnership with the Chinese and the Russian, and a possible threat to the superpower, the United States of America, if they were to align themselves and unite as one body of a defense group. If the Chinese, Russian, and North Koreans unite, they could pose a threat to the United States, more so, of course, than by themselves, disconnected. But Trump wants to establish relations with the Chinese and good relations so that he understands that Kim Jong-un is dangerous and is not someone that the Chinese should want to partner with. Just plain and simple. Trump is probably trying to make apparent to President Xi Jinping that you don't want Kim Jong-un to be on your side because you cannot trust Kim Jong-un. When in contrast, you can trust the United States of America. And if we can get President Xi to understand that, then we stopped World War III. Very, very well possibly. And if we can make sure that Russia understands and Putin understands that Assad is an evil dictator, is a tyrant, for all we know, if we can get him to accept that and also understand that Assad cannot be trusted, then yeah, we've just stopped World War III. So I'm fully supportive of avoiding another war. I'm fully supportive of a peaceful transition of power in the United States of America, as well as a peaceful balance of power for the whole world, looking at global politics as a whole. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Katie Sassine Show this Wednesday, and I hope you can tune in tomorrow. Remember, you can follow me at KatieFYNTV on Twitter, and email me at Katie@FYNTV. Actually, email me at Katie@fetchyournews.com. If you email me at Katie@FYNTV, the email will be sent back to you because that email is non-existent. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.